I think in singles, if you're playing a player who's, I know this is hypothetical, exactly the same ability as you, then I think you should be looking to win 70% of the points with service. In doubles, I think because you can only serve, as we're seeing here, Yuling can only serve in the half of the table that's diagonally across from her, then you're obviously restricted. And I actually think that it's a great question, Liz, because I actually think here, having watched the doubles, that it's no advantage. I really do think it's 50-50. And it'd be interesting to analyse all the points in doubles when two equal pairs play each other, how that's actually gone. So singles, 70% advantage, you win 70% of the points. In doubles, I think it's 50-50.
That shot right there from Yuling right back into the body of Ning. It's going to be very, very challenging when you've got a teammate who can't move quite as quickly to get out of the way.
That was a good top-spin from Yuling. Good use of the elbow and wrist. Came up the back of the ball. Heavy top-spin. Not a lot of pace on the ball. Heavy spin. Zhu, of course, is the youngest player out there, only 20 years of age.
Excellent counter from Ning on the wide wing to the forehand side. Shiwen put on the run, and Xiaoxia is going to really have to dictate a lot of the placement here, considering, you know, the lack of mobility from her teammate.
Just wonder there whether she was quick enough to get out of the way. With the ankle okay, would she have moved a little bit better? We'll never know, of course.
That has been one of her specialties, the matrix-like lean. It's actually what caused the ankle injury in the first place. She was pulling off one of the most drastic leaning shots yet. Just put the body weight over the ankle in a weird way.
I also think it's interesting psychologically when you're playing against a player who's injured, because surely going through your mind is just that thought, you know, what are people going to say if I lose, and I lose to a player who's injured? And you do wonder whether those thoughts went through the mind of Shiwen when she was playing yesterday in that 7th game.
And then there's also, what if I beat them taking advantage of their injury? Like, is it a guilt thing? Either way, thinking too much about what other people think sometimes, not helpful.
As you say, I suspect that Shiwen was mentally tough and blocked it out of her mind. It's the mere mortals like you and I, Adam, who'd worry about things like that. The top players, I guess, are just mentally tough.
Not sure what happened there. It seemed like the ball came back.
I think she's in trouble here. It's 5-all.
But why did the point stop? Could you tell? It's a bit unclear to me.
It'd be nice to see a replay of that one.
Yeah. And the first ball off the bounce of the backhand from Ning wide to the forehand side, cross court here. There it is, sends Yuling on the run, and Xiaoxia right at the back of the table, baseline to keep it quickly off the bounce and play.
Oh, that's a great shot by Xiaoxia. Stay close to the table, hits it at the top of the bounce, hit through the ball going flat.
This is quite a turnaround. I mean, it was Shiwen and Yuling who were leading by a lot in the early part of this game, and it's completely switched. Now Ning and Li in the lead. There was a really good chance at that ball coming back, just missing the line on the flat hit. With a ball that high to Xiaoxia's forehand, 99% of the time there's no chance. On the run, Shiwen, excellent anticipation, but just not enough.
Oh, good combination. Xiaoxia, Ning combining well. Of course, Ning appears to be less mobile. Which means she holds her ground. She stays close to the table, and she's playing very effective table tennis. That was a great return. Good use of the wrist from Zhu.
Yeah, we saw that for match point earlier in the semifinals, stepping around and then playing it down the line in that instance. Here over the table, cross court. She's really shown the modern receive with that backhand. So effective.
7-9.
I mean, what an unpredictable match, Don. In the beginning, it looked like it was just going to be absolute slaughtering here, and now it's turned around the other way, and it's becoming a really close game.
Yuling there. That forehand topspin was very well placed. Straight down the line, as we'll see on the replay. Here it comes. Excellent shot. Always more difficult. Going down the line, it's a shorter target to aim for.
Strong forehand from Ding Ning on the backhand middle side of the table earns 2 game points for Ding Ning and Li Xiaoxia. Again, this is a best of 7 match.
Again, that was a great block by Li Xiaoxia. In fact, you can't call it a block. She just put it back there, as you see on the replay. Watch the elbow and wrist go into this. Just puts that little bit of action into it, gives it extra pace, and that wins the first game 11-8. So Ding Ning, Li Xiaoxia lead by 1 game to 0. Don't go far, we'll be back shortly.
And we're back for game 2 in this best of 7 women's doubles final. Li Xiaoxia and Ding Ning with the serve now, leading 1 game to 0 over Yuling and Lu Shiwen.
A great return serve.
That backhand's really come alive over the table for Yuling. She's sort of been the weaker partner for many of the matches with Lu Shiwen, but she's really contributing well with that backhand.
Slightly slower shot from Shiwen. Rushed up the back of the ball. Good spin. No spin on the serve. Ding Ning just lifting a little bit. Thought she was lifting a little bit of backspin, but there was no backspin to lift the ball off the end of the table. Good start. By LIU and ZHU. Oh, fast forehand topspin.
And again, as quick as Li Xiaoxia is, when you've got a slightly less mobile teammate, you're going to have to worry about having that obstacle on your side of the table. And Ding Ning is doing a great job of playing through the injury and sort of just shuffling around, getting in and out, but not too far, taking compact strokes. And it's probably because her strokes are more compact that she's able to stay closer to the table than Li Xiaoxia.
4-2.
I think it's a big advantage that it's a left-hander and a right-hander in Ding Ning, Li Xiaoxia. Ding Ning hanging around the backhand corner, gives the rest of the table for Li Xiaoxia. That literally trickled over the net, unreturnable. Have a look at this one, it sticks to the net as it goes over. Nearly came back over. That's as tough to return as possible.
Now, I was thinking back to the serve advantage question, and since it really comes down to a coin toss, you'd think it couldn't make that much of a difference. Right.
No, it's interesting that your angle was looking at giving the service and having the serves at the end of the game, which is crucial. It's really good when it's 9-all. If you've got the serves, you're the favourite.
Right.
But I think in doubles, the actual effect of the serve is not as great as it is in singles. So I think here, it's actually not been that big an advantage to have the service. So your principle of having the serve at the end, I think, is crucial in singles, but not as crucial in doubles. Because the service isn't as effective.
Ah, because there's more predictability.
Correct. And I think here, I wouldn't, that's one of the things that's sort of changed in my mind since I came here. I've watched the doubles carefully, commentated on quite a few games, and I actually don't feel the service is much of an advantage now.
Well, if too much importance came down to the coin toss, I guess I would ask the question, how do you determine who calls the coin? I've always wondered that. Where does it all begin? And after a strong backhand from Liu Shiwen deep in the backcourt, it's Yuling who's not able to counter from a step closer in where she's more threatening.
So Xiaoxia won the doubles title 2 years ago in Paris with a different partner. She's looking pretty good here as well. Oh my goodness! Ning can't play close to the table.
Right off the bounce with the backhand. That ball's hit as hard as you can hit a ball. Look at this. And she's one step behind and blocks it way out cross court. And this is something you were saying as far as waiting on the backhand corner, leaving the rest of the court open for Xiaoxia. But on that backhand corner, small strokes, playing the angles.
We touched. Point to Liu and ZHU.
Ning very comfortable, takes it slowly with the backhand, but deep on the table. Despite not winning the point, she's shown great comfort and touch at different paces.
Oh, that's a great angle. And we saw there, Ning just wasn't as mobile, was she? I'm not saying she would have got that anyway, but she certainly would have got a little bit closer to it. Watch her here. Oh, we just lost it. It was close to being informative, but it...
Nice try, nice try. Again, you can never tell what's going to happen. The start of this game, Liu Shiwen and Yuling starting strong. Then it's turned right back around. Now they're creeping back in it.
You have to say the tactics against Ning are to make a move. You get out wide to her forehand, because she is, as we've observed, staying around the backhand corner. Well done to Liu and ZHU. 8-all.
Right, I think if you can bring Ning into the middle of the table a little bit more, where she can't go clearly out of the court either side to get out of the way for Xiaoxia, it's going to really force Xiaoxia to have a difficult shot. And that's two-step around forehands Ning took in that rally. Feels like risky play to me, Don.
Just watch it here, just watch. I had backed her to make that shot before the injury, so it's definitely a factor.
And you'd mentioned it, I mean, she was rushed off to the hospital last night to see if it was broken.
And so 2 game points for Liu and ZHU. They fought well here. They were 1-0 down. They were 2 or 3 points adrift. But it's now 2 game points to level this final at 1 game each. Little conversation going on, signal under the table. There it is. That's actually Ning telling Xiaoxia how she's going to return the serve.
And that's Yuling getting a fly out of the court probably, which might also be a signal.
There it is. First time of asking. Liu Shiwen, Yuling take the second game, 11-8. It's 1 game each. As the players make their way back to a coachless corner. We'll be back after this.
And as we come back for game 3, 19 points have been earned by each side of the table. 1 game each. Both games were 11-8, just the opposite way. We got a question from Twitter. Mr. B says, why do they keep wiping the table after the shot? The answer is to remove the sweat from the palm of their hands, make sure they have a clean grip on the racket, no slippage.
1 love.
A dry surface. They're only allowed to use the towel every 6 points, one of the changes to the game, so that there's no excessive towel use and that the game moves along for the spectators. I think that's a great addition to the game.
Totally agree. I've seen games where players would towel down every point just to slow it down and distract their opponent. Excellent rule. I also think sometimes the hand on the table is a little bit of a habit as well for some players. They just get into a routine and just to slow it down. But you're absolutely right. It's warm down there. It's pretty humid down there. Oh, again. She holds her ground, maybe because she has to because of the injury. But she just has so much control. Just watch this one. There it is. Just guides it out wide. ZHU's forehand.
And watching her, she was waiting right in the middle, too. I mean, it wasn't a clear commitment to the backhand. She made the adjustment at the contact of the shot.
2-all.
Slightly hesitated there, I thought, Yuling. I think the speed confused her. I think she thought it was going to come through quicker, and then she had to quickly try and adapt her shot. She's very good at, I think one of the best players in the world at topspin and smash. A lot of players are very good at topspin. There are players who are good at smash, but she's actually very good at both. Look there. She starts with the racket slightly higher than when she topspins. She drops it down. When she spins, starts with it higher, hits straight through the ball.
That would be a terrible way to re-injure a ball right at the face. Now, the table tennis ball is not especially heavy. I think simply blinking would be enough. You really only have to protect the bare eyeball. If it hits you in the eyelid, it's not going to be comfortable, but it's probably not going to be a serious problem to your vision.
I've not known of a black eye from a table tennis ball hitting somebody in the eye.
5-2.
I mean, the way she tried to get out of the way of that ball, it just seemed, we're always nervous watching her make these quick moves out here.
Great rally.
3-5.
Topspin to topspin exchange, moving the ball around the table. See it again on the replay. I really do think that if this wasn't the World Championships, that Ning would actually protect the injury.
3-6.
There's always a danger it gets worse because of the stresses and the strains of playing. But of course, this is the big tournament of the year. She can have a few weeks off after this to rehabilitate the injury. But a chance to become a world doubles champion, well, quite literally it comes around every 2 years and maybe 5 times in your career
7-3.
if you're lucky enough to make 5 finals.
Right. I was thinking about the injury and how people fight through in other sports. I mean, in boxing, for example, you can be bleeding out of your forehead and they'll patch you up so you can continue for a very similar reason. You know, you're not doing it every weekend. It's quite a big deal, and that's sort of what this tournament is. It's the big fight for these players.
Again, I think that's an interesting analogy. In boxing, you have 2 or 3 fights a year. These guys are playing 100 games a year. It's
3-9.
It's a very demanding schedule now, the World Circuit, with all the different events, and there's a few more now multi-sport events on the program. Of course, table tennis in the Olympics since 1988. So this is a pretty convincing performance by
3-10.
Ning, Xiaoxia, 7 game points. Ning doing well there, she adapted well. She stepped in, thought it was going to be short, leaned back, strong top spin. Xiaoxia, Ning take the 3rd game, 11-3. They now lead by 2 games to 1. And we'll be back shortly.
to serve. Fourth game.
And we come back for game
Serve.
4,
Level.
where Ning and Li Xiaoxia are leading 2-1. Li Xiaoxia starting us off with the serve. Spinny ball dips and goes right past Liu Shiwen in the back court. Ning really able to set up her shot well. She's stepping into position. Both Yuling and Liu Shiwen are having trouble really using Ning's injury to their advantage. You see the way she's leaning out of the way? Her feet still staying close enough that she can get right back in. My favorite part is the lean, ding Ning. Sort of like the do the Zhangji Ke, do the ding Ning. Maybe not quite as interesting as a photo, but still interesting to see out there as a player.
Oh, very good spin there. Ding Ning got a racket over the ball, but excessive topspin biting into the rubber and pinging out off the end of the table. 2-1. Ding and Lee in the lead. That's a good backhand. She can take it so early. Yu Shiwen.
Falling back a bit, Li Xiaoxia, such a versatile player. You mentioned it before, Dawn. She can hit it flat, she can spin it, and when it's in at the body, that stroke was relatively short considering, but she's still got a lot of spin on the brush. Finally found the middle. It's been a tough task. Slow spinny ball into the middle. Well, I guess slower than usual. And again, that hesitation to move the feet.
That's a good shot by Liu. Straight into the body of Lee.
Like deja vu out there. We almost saw the exact same setup twice.
Liu and Zhu 4-3 in the lead.
3-5.
Lee attempting the long, fast push there. It's a good tactic, varying the return of serve. Signal there from Ding Ning, letting Lee know the serve that Ding would like her to do. And certainly set up the point well. Zhu there, just getting her racket too far on top of the ball this time. Hits the top of the net, flies off the end of the table. They're managing to get good topspin on the ball. She's doing a lot more leaning than she normally does, keeping her feet fairly static on the ground, not moving a great deal. She did manage to lean and get a fairly quick arm action to brush up the back of the ball. 5 points each at the halfway stage.
5-6.
A well-placed topspin by Lee. They're very deep on Zhu's side of the table. Good placement. Lots of signalling going on under there. Soft ball by Ding, very clever. She saw Liu away from the table. She just blocks it a little bit softer.
And last time that Liu was back there, there was a counterattack from the backhand side that was very impressive. So as you said, Ding really having great foresight there, clever play.
And a timeout called by the two young ladies on screen there. Liu and Zhu. This match just beginning to drift away. They can't afford to. I said they can't afford to go 3-1 down. It's going to be tough if they go 3-1 down. They have to win 3 consecutive games, which won't be easy. Li Xiaoxia doing a great job, bearing in mind the lack of mobility of her partner, Ning. So there's the two young ladies who just got a little bit of a tough time. They're 2-1 down, 5-7 down. The two ladies in pink will be quite happy with the situation, especially if they can win the next couple of points. The first couple of points after a timeout tend to be crucial, big psychological points. Clearly, LIU and ZHU felt the momentum had been established by Li and Ding. Let's see if they've broken that momentum.
7-6.
Just what the doctor ordered. First point after the timeout. Good spin. Bit more top spin than Ding thought on the ball. And that's a great backhand down the line from Shiwen.
Again, we've got great reach out there from Xiaoxia, standing 5'9", the tallest player left in the tournament. Ning gets a good look at a forehand, relatively close off the bounce. Strong play, Yuling from the backhand side with the forehand. One shot we haven't seen in a while from Ning is the right off the bounce backhand redirection cross court. It's been very effective. I think Liu Shiwen, both Yuling and her, sort of realized that it hadn't been working for them to set it up.
Played that backhand from a, I thought, a pretty cramped position, didn't move her feet to get it. It only needed a slight movement. She ended up playing that from too close to the body. Great play by Li Xiaoxia there. Yu Shiwen there on the screen made a good topspin. But Li Xiaoxia with a great counter topspin.
And after running all the way out of the way for that shot, Liu Shiwen was sort of stretching out her back. You could see her. A lot of the time, lower back injuries, hamstring injuries. These are the most common injuries in table tennis. That and maybe shoulder injury.
Yuling there just guided that ball back deep into the backhand of Ning, maybe slightly into the body. The left-hand side of Ding's body to make a play at the backhand from that quite awkward position. 2 game points for Liu and Zhu.
And that is it. Liu Shiwen and Yuling have moved on and winning the game, tying it up at 2 games each. We looked at this match from the start, Don, and knew it would be a close one and a good fight, and it's sure becoming a better one every single game. Stick around, Game 5 just after this. We come back to start off Game 5, where we're tied at 2 games each. Liu Shiwen to start us off with the serve. Break off the back edge. Yuling has been more aggressive over the table especially, but has been quite effective even from off the table this match. Very tough to retrieve a ball when it catches the edge like that, changing its trajectory. Yuling making her break right back into the table, was thinking about how effective she's been off the table, decides to move back in, and Ning, whether she saw it and felt the pressure or just couldn't control the shot before, ended up blocking it out. Excellent inside-out forehand from Shiwen.
Good placement as well from Shiwen. Placed it out wide to the Ning forehand.
So we got a question on Twitter from Zain Siddiqui. It says, what are the mass weight differences in the new ball that are causing problems for players? Get to that in a second here.
Quite, yeah. Just not quite getting her bat over the top of the ball.
And speaking of the ball, the subtle difference is, I think, basically anytime there's a change to the ball, it's going to affect players somehow. The ball's slightly bigger, spins slightly less, it's a little bit heavier. So that changes when you get far from the table, when it dips, how the ball moves, how much you have to put into every shot. So I think those are the main differences.
I think you're absolutely right. They were talking about making a seamless ball, but the balls here do have a seam, whether that's another progression that we end up with table tennis balls that don't have a seam. But you're right, Adam, the ball is slightly bigger, it affects the flight of the ball. I think the idea of the ITTF was the slightly larger ball would slow it down and the rallies would be slightly longer.
Right.
But I think the players have adapted. I think they're stronger, more powerful, better techniques. So I still think the ball's going incredibly fast and possibly faster than it's ever done. But you can imagine how fast it'd be going if we were back with a ball that was, I think it was 36 millimeter circumference and it's now 40.
Well, we had 38 around the year 2000. It became 40, and now it's 40 plus, which is, I think, 0.5 difference. So it's not an exact. I heard, I don't have the specifics on this, but the old balls I heard used to be between 39 and 40 millimeters on average, subtle differences, and now it's between 39.5 and 40.5. So that's where they got the name 40 plus, which is what the new ball is. Touch shot just wide. Shiwen, we don't see her doing that very often, running around the forehand corner to touch softly with the backhand and drop it short.
But I think her tactics there was to get out wide to the Ning forehand, get Ning coming across this side of the table. And then, of course, Xiaoxia has problems getting around Ning then if she comes over to the backhand side of the table. 5-4. Liu and ZHU.
Good look at the short side of the table. Difficult ball. Yuling keeping it nice and low on the step around for the cross-court shot. Creates some trouble for Xiaoxia to counter. I mean, we're seeing some really bold shot selection from Xiaoxia right now. And despite how we complimented her earlier on her flat hits as well from both sides, I mean, this is what won her the Kuwait Open, the versatility and the ability to not only spin the ball, but to just crush it flat from both sides. She's 0 for 2 on her last 2 big shots. Make that 1 for 3, a big step around to the corner. It's a difficult ball, you could see there. Yuling with the tongue out. A little bit crazy that shot was.
So a further 6 points have progressed. Yuling, Shiwen both taking the opportunity to towel down, compose themselves. And it's Yuling with the 2 serves. In for the long, deep push. Ning shakes her head. Pushes that one into the net.
Interesting service choice, kicking long, giving the attack to the opponents. And then on the run, Yuling trying to reach out and sort of just cover it back cross court. We're looking at a 2-point game. Again, Shiwen and Yuling won the last game. Ding Ning shots the winner in that rally. Fans it back out down the short side of the table, using the power from her opponent. Just sort of closes, covers the ball. Again, all her shots, the timing is so strong. They're not big, full strokes because of all the power coming from the legs and requiring footwork. Ding Ning's got a modified shot right now. Pressure came down to Li Xiaoxia in that rally. They had Yuling and Liu Shiwen on the run, hopping around an extension, open court on the forehand side, and Liu Shiwen just getting to a ball that didn't make it on the table.
But retrieving well, throwing the balls back with spin. And 9-7, Liu Shiwen now with the two serves.
Chop block goes just long from Liu Shiwen. Again, the game getting tighter and tighter.
Big point coming up. Ding Ning will have the serves at the end of the game. Shiwen trying to spin the ball up deep into the Li Xiaoxia backhand. But it was good spin, good backspin from Ding Ning on the return of serve. 9 points each. Ding Ning with the serve.
Secret time. If the conversation goes much longer, usually the umpires will step in and warn them to please play. Soft hands, leaves it close to the back edge of the table. Not sure if it's going to come off, and Liu Shiwen has to make an improvised decision to go for the attack. Now game point for Ding Ning and Li Xiaoxia. Overdoes it, heavy spin shot. Yuling really loading it up there. So many twists and turns, Don.
Li Xiaoxia there took on the counter top spin. Here it comes. Just doesn't quite get on top of the ball. Good spin from ZHU and Liu. Game point saved. Alternate serving now. First pair to win 2 clear points. Shiwen took it early, a little bit of wrist in that block. So the ball goes even quicker. A combination of early and the wrist means it goes very quick, gives the opponent less time, and of course, Ding Ning struggling to get across the table.
Yeah, when we saw her standing up on the backhand corner, it looked like trouble. It didn't seem like she was gonna have an easy time getting ready for the next ball.
Oh, what a great play.
Beautiful backhand from over the table to the open court, and the game point saved. Just one more time, soft shot, well anticipated. Ding Ning gets in quickly, extends out. Whatever the sign was under the table, Yuling did not get what was given to her. Or at least planned to by under the table signals. A net recovery, the ball goes out wide to the injured player's forehand. Ding Ning hobbling over, makes a crushing forehand to the very baseline. Let's see this again.
It's the return of the net cord that's incredible. That one, that's an amazing return by Li Xiaoxia. Even loosens the bat in her hand to get a longer grip.
Not only that, Liu Shiwen was already raising her hand to apologize. She was sure the point was over. Crowd gasping with the recovery shot. Another game point for Ding Ning. And Li Xiaoxia, they take it. 13-11. An exciting, thrilling game 5. What a match this is becoming, Don. It's been back and forth since game 1. 13-11 with the miracle point before that last one. And Ding Ning and Li Xiaoxia in the lead 3-2. Don't go anywhere. Game 6 coming up just after this.
We're doing good. Now.
谢小朋友们的精彩表演，谢谢你们。
Adam, just while the players are getting prepared, there's a question come in about the pronunciation of our pronunciation of the Chinese names, and I know I have great difficulty, you know, with the names, and speak to the players and try and get a feel for how to say it. And apologies if I do get it wrong, but we're certainly doing our best. But I know you spent quite a bit of time with the players and the coaches and try and get a feel for how to say the names, etc.
Big shot from Liu Shiwen at the back of the table. Yeah, Don, I'll address that real quickly. From Twitter, Apuestas Tenis Mesa asked, do you know how funny your Zhangjike pronunciation is? How did you learn it? Actually says, Hoy, did you learn it? But I understand. And that's true. You know, we're doing our best. And for me, I try to leave whatever, you know, coming from the United States out of it. I try to learn how players say their names personally. I like it when people pronounce my name the way I pronounce it. So talking to Chinese players, Zhang Jike himself, other Chinese people say Zhang Jike. I do my best to emulate that. So if I get it wrong or it sounds funny or it's not where you're used to, yeah, I'm just doing my best.
Absolutely.
So Liu Shiwen now, the serve. Strong over the table shot, but it comes right back deep cross court. And look at this, Li Xiaoxia with the pressure. She had some trouble in the last game, making a few pressure shots deep at the table, flat hits and even counter spin shots.
She's certainly been the impressive player of the four up until now, Li Xiaoxia.
We got another interesting question here. What difference does the blue sponge make, and why do only Chinese players use it? Well, that's a specific. I don't think the color of the sponge is anything more than food coloring or icing on a cake, but the actual production of the rubber itself is another story.
Good flick from Li Xiaoxia. Ning not quite able to bring off that forehand topspin down the line. There's the topspin down the line, just collapsing.
And just to follow up with that, the Chinese rubber that's produced for the Chinese national players is different than pretty much anywhere in the world. It's especially tacky, and the throw angle is different than any other rubber. Had a talk with Richard Prauza about it earlier. The ball really comes off the rubber quite differently. It's just heavy to carry and takes extreme physical training to really lift it. So you only see some of the strongest, fastest players coming from China. That's why they have this setup, the tacky on the forehand, and then something a little bit more springy or European-made on the backhand side. Rip shot, things are going well right now for Ding, Ning, and Li Xiaoxia in terms of games, but they're trailing in this game, just crawling back, making it a 2-point game.
Oh, that's a great shot from Liu Shiwen. Again, takes it very early. Look at that again on the replay. In she comes, elbow, wrist. Very short shot, exploding at elbow and wrist.
Really can't compliment her footwork enough. It looks like she's just floating, just sort of hopping right in there.
6-4.
Yuling there, just going for the backhand down the line. Maybe leaning backwards slightly when she hit it, I'm not sure. But certainly the ball flying off the end of the table.
Liu Shiwen and Yuling really fighting, taking this to a game 7 is their plan and winning it after that. But you can see the amount of effort, not only from the footwork, but big power from Liu Shiwen. You said it before with timing, staying in when she can, but really getting her body around to get full strength into it. And Yuling's been effective with the backhand when it's been used on the forehand side over the table. That one was a little bit close to the table. Looks like they're checking for a crack in the ball.
She's gone down the line twice as Yuling in the last 2 points and made an error. It's good positive play to attack down the line, but obviously you're looking for a little bit better than none out of 2. but still playing positive, still with a lead. The player's just having a little hit, or a knock as the Europeans refer to it as, just to get used to the new ball, make sure it's okay. It is. And so Li Xiaoxia will serve at 5-7. Backspin on the Li Xiaoxia service. Yuling there. I don't think she read the spin then. She got a racket over the top of the ball. Backspin biting into the sponge, the rubber. Dropping into the net. 7-6.
And that's where she's most effective. We were just talking about it. The backhand from over the forehand side of the table. Yuling using the length of the table, really getting it loaded up with spin.
That was a good backhand on the diagonal, of course, this time. But nevertheless, point to Liu and Zhu. Yuling now with the 2 serves.
8-7.
This time the backhand down the line from Zhu was good, as we'll see on the replay. There it is. And again, it's the block from Ning. Sorry, no, it was the block from Li Xiaoxia, wasn't it, that won the point?
I think it was a block from Ning.
No, it was from Ning. You're right. Yeah. Ning blocking to Liu Shiwen.
Very interesting tactic there, working the corners. A little bit of trouble for Ning and Li Xiaoxia. Ning coming in and out there, but they were trying to really move around the opponents without opening up too much risk for wide shots coming back. It's a tricky balance. We're tied up at 8 points each. Ning with the serve.
Oh, the Ning backhand.
Slightly spinnier and slower, takes a little pace off it and overshoots it. Now the lead against the serving team. Ning, Li Xiaoxia down 8-9. It's been a rare occasion that they've really been able to find the middle and give trouble to Ning because of the lack of movement, but that shot was clearly well placed and gave some trouble to Ning. You said it, Don. 2 game points. Liu Shiwen, Yuling looking to go into the 7th.
That's a great rally. And it's Liu Shiwen who finishes it off in style. And we're now ready for a 7th and final game. Before we commence, the players take a 1-minute break in their respective corners. Don't go far, we'll be back for the final game.
And we're back for game 7, the deciding game, the last game you will see for women's doubles at the 2015 Koros World Table Tennis Championships. And after this game, we will have our world champions.
I have to say, my heart's with Liu Shiwen. She lost 4-3 in the women's singles final. I think she's had a great tournament. It'd be great for her to get a title here. They started, won the first point. But of course, she's up against Li Xiaoxia, the current women's doubles champion, playing with the current world champion.
Well, for me, it's tough to pick a side. I like all the players out there, but I will say that I hope this game ends 32-30 because we'll get to see a lot of this action. I really don't want it to stop. I'm also curious what happens to the scoreboard after 30. Oh. And ZHU Yuling with a strong recovery from down on the backhand side, comes around the net with it. Look at this here, keeps it nice and low, but that ball right down the middle. Difficult shot. And that, what? What happened?
She can't believe it. I must say, I expected to put that one away.
Uncomfortable block. ZHU Yuling overpowered with the spin. Again, dead even. Somebody's gonna win. Can't be even forever.
Shiwen now with the 2 serves. Players will change ends when the first pair reach 5 points, and they'll also change the playing order. So Shiwen playing to Ning in the first half of this game. She'll play to Xiaoxia in the second half. Oh, Xiaoxia again returning the net towards.
Was that an edge ball on the recovery shot? Let's see from this angle. Right next to the net, touches it. No, it hit clean. It was just very wide.
Perfect placement.
Some of the fastest players, if not the fastest players on earth, so calm and able to touch the ball in these situations, even reaching it, crazy enough.
Good flick this time from Yuling.
I don't know if you've seen the recovery, the net recovery. I think it was Ning hits the ball back, falling to the ground, and it comes back over the net in a doubles match. Must have been, I don't know, a year or 2 ago now.
Oh, well played, Yuling. She stepped up to the plate the last 2 points.
And it's that backhand from the forehand corner that gets things started. Again, for many teams, even world-class players, that's a point finisher. It's a rally starter out here. Oh. But that's a finisher. Xiaoxia snapping through the ball, using all that wingspan and arm length, just snapping with elbow and wrist. And the ball goes out of the court, hit so hard.
Straight through the back of the ball. So for sure, we're going to be changing ends with the smallest possible lead for one of the pairs, 5-4, one way or the other. She went there, little movement to the little finger. I'm not sure what that means, but ZHU Yuling will certainly know what it means. This time the backhand topspin from Xiaoxia into the net. And the players change ends, change the playing order. And it's Shiwen, ZHU Yuling, who lead 5-4. It couldn't be any closer when you change ends.
And since we've got the different orders here, a question that came through on Twitter I think is relevant. Dominique Ning says, what type of tactics do the players discuss in between games and on timeouts? And I think that could be anything from, you know, here's what I'm thinking I should do. How can we set each other up? Serve, receive, different placement, different footwork. I mean, pretty much anything really, but whatever they think will give them the best chance of beating their opponents and staying in control.
I think there'll be a lot of attention to the service and the return of service. They're 2 of the key tactical areas of the game. Get those wrong and then the point just doesn't go the right way. But here we go. How about this? 3-all, 5-all. Great drama here.
That is some fancy signing. It's like 3 signs within a quarter of a second. Very spinny shot. ZHU Yuling has been off the table. What's happening here? She's down. Everything's fine. Okay, it seemed like just a moment of disappointment maybe. Fortunately, no injury.
I think it's the shock as to how much topspin ZHU Yuling got onto that ball. Really whipped up the back of the ball for heavy spin. Look at the block. She gets over the ball, but there's still too much topspin on. Oh, she's played that so well 3 or 4 times. waits for the ball to come to the top of the bounce, and then a snap of the wrist straight through the back of the ball. 6-all.
It's interesting you brought up the top of the bounce. I think the block from before, at this towel break, be a good time to address it. The block before that Ning could not keep down, one of the main reasons that she couldn't, even though she was so closed, was that the ball bounced much further up closer to the net on the table. So she really had trouble staying as closed as she could on top of it from out in front. Just missing the edge. Ning way out of position on that. Comes running through with the mercy shot.
Just watch on the replay. Ning out the wrong side of the table. Has to scamper back to the backhand side. She almost made it. That ball missed by a very close margin, but tactically well played by Liu Shiwen and Zhu Yuling. Liu Shiwen now with the serve. I don't think she even got up. I think she played that shot while led on the floor.
On the ground, a counter loop. That was not a safety shot. That was, I have to hit this ball hard. Look at this again. She's still on the ground. Nope. Gets up just a little bit. Full extension. A better shot than when she was standing. You can play this replay for the next 5 minutes and the crowd will not be disappointed. Shot of the day for sure. No questions. You've got the injured player on the ground for that, Don.
That's one of the first times I've ever seen an opponent actually applaud a player, and Liu Shiwen there clapping that shot.
And Liu Shiwen, of all people, that means a lot. Close friend, but still, after last night's match, don't know how much tension there is.
Oh!
And it comes right back, a break off the top of the net. That's a tough ball. Ning spilling out. When you throw your racket at the ball, it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, if she hits the ball and the racket's not in the hand, it doesn't count.
Good knowledge.
Little fun fact for people discussing that. It's always cool when you make it, but it doesn't count.
Oh, Li Xiaoxia steps up to the plate with that fast forehand topspin off the bounce. The ball's gone out of the court. A few seconds before it comes back.
And so far, they're on their way to a 30-30 deuce. Point for point right now at 8-8. It's been this way for some time. I remember seeing 4-4. It seems like they're just climbing the staircase one step at a time.
Zhu Yuling now with the two serves. Oh, good topspin from Liu Shiwen down the line. 9-8, Liu and Zhu in the lead, and it's Zhu with the second serve. Has to be short, surely. Liu Shiwen then getting in.
And she doesn't go short. A kicking serve into the backhand. Ning steps around, sort of a medium pace shot, but it's the follow-up from Liu Shiwen, even off balance, moving to get her body out of the way, puts the pressure on to the short corner of the table. What a break. We've got 2 championship points for Liu Shiwen and Zhu Yuling, and the crowd is roaring with excitement for this pair.
There it is!
Done it. Liu Shiwen, hands in the air, and the hug from Zhu Yuling. A proud moment for the women's doubles champions of 2015. And you got it, Don. Liu Shiwen has gotten her dream, a championship with the 20-year-old Zhu Yuling. Zhu Yuling, world rank number 6. Liu Shiwen, world rank number 2. But they are the world champions for women's doubles in 2015. And an outstanding match. We saw some of the most exciting points, not only of the tournament, but that shot from the ground from Ning, Don. That's one of the most exciting shots I've seen in my life.
You're going to enjoy watching that again and again and again, I can tell. But what a lovely smile on the face of Liu Shiwen there. I'm delighted. I think she